national or the Biering school interview on the front page, and Lauren, here's a follow-up question. This would be a good personal question, but are the risks that you know that you should take, and if you took it, would they increase your ability, your income, anything about your business that you wanted to promote? What would those steps be?
So actually, the risks that I am working on taking now are risks of more visibility. Mm-hmm. So being with you today is one of the ways. This isn't all that scary for me, so it's not as a big a risk as it might be for some people. And that's another thing, people can't tell another person what's a risk for them or not, you know. So, but things like making calls toward doing more speaking, let's see, what's another risk that I take today? Well, writing on my own blog, getting out there what I really think, so that people can either connect with me or move on. You know, people can self-select, yes or no, and then I would have better chances of working with them and increasing my revenue. What else might I do today? I might go for a walk because it's one of the ways I clear my head, and it sounds like not a very businessy solution, but I'm a much better businesswoman when my head is clear. Yes.
Well, you mentioned about writing on your own blog. I have clients that are saying, we want to keep saying, I don't know what to say, blah, blah, blah. A ministry. So, what is the ministry? You mentioned something in the interview that people don't want to try. But to keep the birthday a little bit,
breaking down the risks to smaller pieces. Right. And that makes it possible for you to even take the risks. So one of the ways to know what the smaller pieces are is to say, okay, if I am going to do more speaking, then what would the process of that be? It's truly quite simple. We scare ourselves out of even thinking those questions. I can't think about that. That's too scary. But part of the process would be going online and doing some research. Now, that doesn't feel very scary to me, but because it is toward a bigger goal, I still might hesitate to do that. And even small, you know how I often say, there's always a smaller step you can take if you're too afraid to do the one. You might call some friends to do some speaking and say, what are the sites that you go to look for speaking engagements? So even that's less scary than going out there and looking on your own, for instance. And then I have to say that when we don't know how to do something, the risk might be asking for help. It might be hiring a coach. Now, a coach, in the pure sense of the word, is not going to tell you how to do something. But a coach is going to help you find the way that you do it. Find your way, and then hold you accountable, and hold your hand a little bit, too, to go and do that. And sometimes the way to do it is to let go of the things in your life, not necessarily to know the steps. I think most of us know how to do more than we say we know how to do. In fact, one of the things that Renee often does is she puts up on the screen in one of her speeches an apple and a donut. And she says, we all know the answer to this question. We all know. That doesn't mean we always choose the apple. So having someone to help us understand why we choose the apple, why we often choose the donut instead of the apple, helping us understand how to choose the apple. You get it. I don't need to explain it. You get it. And then the other thing that someone you will listen to help firm can do is say, okay, now that you know that the step you can take is calling 3 people, who are those 3 people, and by when will you take that step?
You just made a good comment about you're up something about coaches and viewers and medical development and associated with speaking coaching. And then I was in a class yesterday and she said to me, you and me what we do, and I think, oh no, that's not what I do. I have a list of and then explain it to you. So, very good point, and I think that is one of the things that we do around coaching. There's different ways to do it.
And I first want to say it's understandable that the marketplace is full of people calling themselves coaches. And I'm not saying that people aren't but at least to me, the differences are that consultants have a level of expertise, maybe education, maybe even experience in whatever it is they're talking to the person about. A consultant might go into a business, look around, do a study, use his or her experience, all those things, and then give a report or say, this is what I think you should do.
Make recommendations.
Exactly. Sometimes they will help hold accountable, most of the time not. But a coach, the skill that a coach has is not in doing what their clients do. It's asking the questions, creating the environment, etc., so that the client can find out what the right answers are for the client. And when a client believes the answers have come from within, they're much more likely to do them. They're much more likely for those things to be sustainable. They're much more likely to be happy or fulfilled or have meaning in them rather than I just say, this is what you need to go do. Right? Lots of times when I slip into that, people don't do it. Well, of course not. I don't like to do what people tell me to do either.
People are not fully there.
So, right.
You said authenticity is the new Velcro. Would you please talk about that?
When we, all of life, all of business is about relationships. First of all, I believe with ourselves, but the very close second is with other people. And when we are not being authentic, when we're being inauthentic, there is very little chance of there being a connection. And actually, one of the things that Brene has studied and teaches us that we are hardwired for connection. We must have it. And to live, to thrive, to experience all the good things. But what I want to say about authenticity in the Velcro is if we are authentic and there is a connection, then it feels meaningful and it feels creative and it feels like there are a lot of possibilities. When we are inauthentic and there is somewhat of a connection, then what we build based on that relationship often leaves us feeling empty or out of integrity. What we want is to be authentic and let there be whatever there is. If we are authentic to the other person and there isn't a fit, then we want to know that. Maybe it's the two backs of the Velcro or something at that point that we're experiencing. But the important thing is to be exactly who we are so that we can connect and create what it is we're here to create with other people, for other people, for the world. Yeah. How many times have you taken somebody's hand and said, oh, this feels really good, let's keep giving alcohol, and I'm like, am I talking to that person?
Well, thanks again for coming on the show today. You should have watched Laura Biering full interview on the front page, and this is John doing so.